I'm here to review the drum-tec Diabolo dual zone FX pads 6" by 3.5" in stainless steel. I came across this trigger pad by accident. I noticed that drum-tec was advertising Octobon style trigger pads. I thought that, that looked really cool. And then when I was on the website, I discovered, oh, they have these more shallow 6" toms, which seem perfect to round out my virtual Neil Peart, style drum set with complete with concert tom pads. So I purchased one, and it arrived, much to my elation, and it was really well packed in this box. You can see from Hamburg, Germany. However, it says made in Taiwan. This box is for something else. This is for a 10" real feel mesh head. Anyhow, this is the outside box that it came packed in. Really well packed. Inside this box is another box. And this one says the right thing. It says Diabolo, excuse me, not Diablo, Diabolo 6" FX pad, stainless steel. I think this is the only option. It also says dual zone. I don't think they make a single zone version of this, at least not the one I'm aware of. So really well packed. All right, so let's get to it. You get a fairly large indicator of where to find your trigger settings, which is a QR code and a URL. And then, of course, more wrapping, more paper, and then the trigger pad itself. You also get a packing slip in triplicate. This was 125 euros, I think. To sort of justify the shipping, I went ahead and ordered a couple cables as well, since they were kind of the right style to match my Roland cables, and they had them in stock. I figured I would throw those into and kind of help make up the shipping costs. $35 or euros shipping was kind of pricey. So yeah, I went ahead and ordered some cables. I haven't used them yet, but they look great. All right, so let's get to the pad. So first thing I noticed, of course, after the excellent boxing, was how heavy this thing is. It's got some heft to it. Hopefully you can see that well. So it is a beautiful stainless steel drum. The hardware seems of very decent quality. The drum mount, clamp style, the lug bolts. You can see the trigger inside there. Very simple, very clean, elegant. I'm immediately impressed. However, you also notice right away that the rim rubber is really tall and thick. So I noticed this on the website, and I thought, well, maybe that's just the graphic. I'll show you the picture anyway. I noticed that the rim rubber was really tall and not even, and that's how it's accurate. That's how it gets when it comes to you. Anyway, I went ahead and set it up and played it that way, and I found that, I really had to have a steep angle, a stick angle, in order to not hit a rim shot. And I prefer my toms a little more, flat, I guess. And so I didn't like that. Let's compare that with something like a PDX-6. So this is Roland's smallest mesh pad, and its rim is also pretty tall, but not quite so intrusive, not quite as tall. Yeah, this is the only pad where I've ever felt compelled to remove the rubber. And you might too, and as long as you don't play a lot of accidental rim shots, I think it's probably a good decision to make. All right, so let's go ahead and remove that rubber rim protector. And it's on there pretty good. It doesn't come off like a Roland. There's no like notches for the lugs or lug bolts. It just kind of, I don't know, gotta really roll it around those lugs. All right, so that's kind of awkward. And you can see here, there's no like notches as you would find in a Roland rubber rim protector. It's just uniform all the way around and difficult to get on and off and super thick. I don't know, I guess, you know, if you really want to protect your sticks or your rim, your metal rim, then that's a good thing, but I don't care for it. So I think that looks a lot better, and it plays just fine as well. I mentioned earlier that it was pretty heavy, pretty hefty. I was kind of used to the PDX-6, so let's compare the weight. All right, the drum-tec Diabolo 6-inch weighs about 1,300 grams, 1,304 with the rubber rim. A little bit less without it. Goes down to like 1226. Let's compare that to the Roland PDX-6. 926 grams. All right, let's compare that to a 6-inch Dawes pad. What do we got here? 681 grams, getting lighter. And finally, let's compare it to the real thing. A pearl maple 6-inch concert tom circa 1986. 1,203 grams. So it weighs more than the real thing. That really is, double check that. Yeah, 1,303 grams. 1,207 grams. Isn't that crazy? Cool. So, when I removed the rubber rim, that's when I noticed that the drum's not perfectly round, or maybe the head isn't. This is not the top of the line mesh head made by drum-tec. They make a higher model of drum head. And you can see here, this is a little bit of shoddy workmanship in there. You can kind of see that those threads hanging out there. I was kind of disappointed to see that. See that? It's not the greatest workmanship either on the head, or maybe it's just the rim, or the shell is not quite round. I don't know, but then you got these threads hanging out. You can't really see it much beyond very up close to the drum. But I was a little disappointed in that workmanship. You can see it's a single sensor here. There's another sensor on the rim, or on the shell, so that picks up your rim shots. Anyway, it looks great. Looks like the real thing. So I noticed that it seemed a little smaller than I expected in diameter. And that's because I was used to the PDX-6. So if you compare the size of the PDX-6, probably the easiest way to do that is with that rubber rim. You can see here that the PDX-6 is about ½ inch bigger. It's actually a 6.5 inch head by Roland. So if you want an accurate 6-inch drum, this is what you want. I compared this to the real thing, and it's exactly the same as a real 6-inch head. Put these side by side. So that's a real acoustic tom on the right, and the Diabolo drum trigger by drum-tec on the left. It is the right size if you want an actual 6-inch tom. Unlike the Roland PDX-6 over here, is actually a 6.5 inch head. Maybe you can kind of see it that way. Also, the Roland PDX-6 has a lot of, it has this plastic extra, portion of the drum here, and then, really thick rubber rim that's protecting the plastic. You have a plastic rim, kind of like a tray, or like a bucket. So this is a much bigger overall size. If you want to conserve space, Diabolo is a lot smaller. I guess the next question is, how does it work? I followed the recommended trigger settings in my Roland TD-50X. And I found that it was not as sensitive as the Roland triggers initially, so I increased the sensitivity, and it was great. So I don't know if you can see the jack there. It's really clean. Really clean design. So mounted on my TD-50K2, it's really more of a hybrid now at this point, different Roland pads. It fits in quite nicely. And I have it right next to a PDX-6, like I said, is a 6.5-inch pad, so it kind of gives me that illusion of different tonal qualities or pitches when I'm playing my long Neil Peart roundhouse fills. So you can see how well that blends in there. So, yeah, now I'm really wishing that drum-tec made an 8-inch version of this. Or heck, how about a 10 and a 12 and a 13 and a 14? I'd buy them all. I know that drum-tec makes other size triggers, but they all seem to have double heads for the most part, except for like those Octobon pads. And I don't need a bottom head on my triggers. It serves no purpose. So yeah, if you made more of these, more sizes, I would buy them up, drum-tec. Another thing is that if your sound packs, and specifically for the TDX50, included a sound that was appropriate for this drum, I would love that. Like some concert toms or small closed toms. I would love that. I would definitely buy that. So, next step is going to be to play this so you can kind of see and hear it a little bit. It's useful to know what it sounds like without triggering anything. So, that's a PD85 down here. This is the SD140DS, PDX100, PDA 120L, BK, something like that. So right now it's going to have like be making like a I think I got an auxiliary input, so it's going to be making like a cymbal sound or something. Yeah. All right, and I have a kit for playing my Neil Peart fantasies. So what that is a combination of a sample of that same Pearl tom I showed earlier, and then one of the built-in modeled Roland toms tuned way up. So it's a combination of a user sample, and then same thing on this. This is an 8-inch tom. So, what's the verdict? I love it. I think it's awesome. I wish I had several more of them. Please, drum-tec, make more. And make me some cool drum samples to go along with it. That'd be awesome.
That's a good YouTube video. You're terrible.